who borrowed these innovations while diluting their impact and disguising their sources. More than historical accuracy is lost in the process. The very sources from which creativity and new techniques arise are distorted and misrepresented. A key theme of this audiobook is that the shameful elements of songs, their links to sex, violence, magic, ecstatic trance, and other disreputable matters, are actually sources of power, serving as the engines of innovation in human music making. When we cleanse the historical record of their presence, we lose our grasp on how our most cherished songs arose in the first place. The real history of music is not respectable, far from it. Neither is it boring. Breakthroughs almost always come from provocateurs and insurgents, and they don't just change the songs we sing, but often shake up the foundations of society. When something genuinely new and different arrives on the music scene, those in positions of authority fear it and work to repress it. We all know this because it has happened in our own lifetimes. We have seen firsthand how music can challenge social norms and alarm upholders of the status quo, whether political bosses, religious leaders, or just anxious parents, fretting about some song bellowing ominously from behind a teenager's bedroom door. Yet this same thing has been happening since the dawn of human history, and maybe even longer, although you won't get told that side of the story in Music 101, or from the numerous well-funded music institutions devoted to protecting their respectability and the highbrow pretensions of their mission statements. Those fretting parents are delighted with this kind of sanitized approach to music appreciation, as are those within the cultural ecosystem who see their own status rising in tandem with the prestige and authority of the traditions they uphold. They gain a kind of second-hand luster from the cleansed, purified vision of music making they promote. Even rude and vulgar songs are made dignified as part of this process. But the whole endeavor is a distortion, no less a lie for the pleasing patina of respectability it imparts to the dangerous soundtracks of the past. At every stage in human history, music has been a catalyst for change, challenging conventions and conveying coded messages, or not infrequently delivering blunt, unambiguous ones. It has given voice to individuals and groups denied access to other platforms for expression, so much so that in many times and places, freedom of song has been as important as freedom of speech, and far more controversial. Yet there's a second stage to this process, and it is just as interesting and deserving of study. This is the mechanism by which these disruptive musical intrusions into the social order enter the mainstream. The dangerous rebel gets turned, after a few years or decades, into a respected tribal elder. We have lived through this process too, but even those of us who have seen it firsthand may struggle to explain how it happened. When Elvis Presley appeared on TV in 1956, CBS was reluctant to show what he was doing with his hips. Those gyrating movements were too dangerous for mainstream audiences to see. Yet just a few years later, in 1970, Elvis not only got invited to the White House, but even received a badge from the hand of President Richard Nixon, making him an unofficial agent for the Federal Bureau of Narcotics. Adding to the bizarre tenor of the event, Presley may have been stoned when he received this dubious honor. Parents were shocked by their first encounters with the Beatles and the Rolling Stones, but those bad boys would eventually get knighted and turn into Sir Paul McCartney and Sir Mick Jagger. Bob Dylan was a leader of the counterculture in 1966, but honored as the Nobel laureate in literature in 2016. Straight Outta Compton by hip-hoppers, NWA got banned by many retailers and radio stations in 1988 and was even denounced by the FBI. But that same album was chosen by the Library of Congress for preservation in the National Recording Registry for its cultural merit in 2017. What strange social evolution allows a radical outsider to turn into an official hero of the mainstream? Yet this process has been repeated throughout history. In fact, this very